Hello everyone and welcome to the Transit Nomad family. In this video we'll continue exploring city streets of Bucharest, Romania and comparing it with Sofia, Bulgaria, which is where we came from a couple of days ago. Before we get started, I'd like to let you know that as an active traveler and business owner with experience, I might be able to assist you with trip planning, life coaching and business consulting, with all the details available at buymeacoffee.com/transit nomad or through the link in the video description below. This is where you can also find lots of exclusive content on many different cities around the world, my secret tips, PDF guides, and the option to request a custom video on any topic that matters to you. With that being said, let's begin walking around and checking out what Bucharest has to offer in 2025 and comparing it with Sofia, which is where we arrived from a couple of days ago. The cities are kind of on a similar level when it comes to prices and cost. I do not see any noticeable difference when it comes to paying for public transportation or food or accommodations. I think it's pretty similar. The differences are noticeable when it comes to the quality of public transportation. In Sofia, it's a lot more developed. It's a lot easier to use. The frequencies are a lot higher. You don't have to wait for your bus or your tram for too long. And every bus stop has signs, digital signs with estimated bus, tram or trolley bus arrival times. So you know how long you have to wait. If you have to wait at all, most of the time you don't need to wait that much, maybe a couple of minutes and that's it. And also it has information with all the stops that are going to be along your route. And I feel that they really take care of their system a lot better than here in Romania. Some of the stuff here in Romania is broken, like the vending machines to buy tickets, the validators, some of them are broken inside buses. The condition of public transportation is also not as good. The frequencies are much lower, so you have to wait longer. And also they don't have the digital signs with estimated bus arrival times. In fact, they don't have any information at bus stops except for the numbers, and that's it. It reminds me of California bus stops that do not have any information. At least most of them don't. So overall, I feel that Bulgaria's public transportation is completely on another level, and you cannot even compare it with Romania. That's how much of a dramatic difference I notice. Now, when it comes to architecture, this is where Bucharest, I think, is going to win. Just like Bulgaria wins about public transportation, Bucharest wins about its architecture. You can see these kind of really impressive buildings and monuments, and also lots of fountains and parks, and it's not just like one or two, but you can actually keep walking around and exploring this kind of architecture for hours around the city center. So, and also you can see it in the back. Every direction you look, there is something beautiful to admire. Definitely, when it comes to architecture, Bucharest is a winner. It's a lot more scenic. In Sofia, you do have some beautiful buildings, don't get me wrong, but it's not as impressive. You don't get as much of a wow factor. Now, architecture is the obvious one, but what might be a little bit less obvious is the weather. It is actually hotter in Bucharest, maybe because Sofia is located close to the mountains. It does get hot, but not as hot as it gets hot in Bucharest. Bucharest is a really hot city. It's hot to the point that you cannot actually hang out during daytime. You have to stay somewhere where there is air conditioning, maybe stay in your apartment or stay in an air-conditioned tram if you can find one, or go to the shopping mall because it gets like 35 degrees hot. And I mean, it's really hot, even in the shade, it's super hot. Me and my partner, we got so tired because of the heat yesterday. So that is something for you to keep in mind. Definitely If you care about the weather, Sofia might have a might offer a better experience. Now, I mentioned about prices, it's about the same. I mentioned about public transportation, Sofia wins. Now I mentioned about the weather, Bucharest wins. About architecture, also Bucharest wins. Another category where Bucharest wins is the availability of free water and free toilets. And these are like the little things, but they make a really big difference, because when you are traveling and you are exploring different city streets and you're out all day or most of the day, you need to drink water, especially in this kind of hot weather. You need to stay hydrated. And of course, you need to go and take care of your toilet business, because you keep drinking that water. And in Sofia, it's more difficult to find free toilets. You can still find them, especially at shopping malls outside of the city center. But when you are in the city center, it's either paid toilets, or you have to go to a restaurant and order something, or you need to know the code when you go to McDonald's or other places like that. You can type in the code, and then the toilet will open up, hopefully. But it's not as easy and not as straightforward as it is here in Bucharest. What I really love about this city is their water fountains that I've been able to see in many different locations in the central part of the city. And they have these basic portable toilets everywhere, and this makes a big difference. I don't have to panic. I don't have to worry about where to take care of my toilet business. I can just see one around the corner and do it and continue exploring. It's really for me it makes a big difference. So if you care about that too, highly recommend considering Bucharest over Sofia. Beautiful fountains, also very impressive building. And that building is also looking good. Now, when it comes to city spaces, both Sofia and Bucharest have benches where you can sit and relax and hide from the sun and do something, whatever you need to do, reconnect with yourself, get some rest or get some work done or chat with your friends. Both cities have areas like this, which is great, because guess what? Many cities in Italy don't have areas like this. They don't have benches to sit on. Believe it or not, you just keep walking around. You have to keep standing, or you have to go to the bar and order something and then you can sit. Both cities have a lot of areas where you can chill, but as far as the quality of parks, I have to mention that Bucharest wins in this category. It's just more beautiful, more scenic. The trees look better, the landscaping looks better, more fountains, more monuments, the layout, the way they build it is just, it looks better, more impressive, more beautiful. Bucharest parks are a lot more beautiful. It doesn't matter which park I go to in Sofia or in Bucharest, definitely Bucharest wins. So the only category where Sofia wins is public transportation, where I see the dramatic difference. And also I see a dramatic difference when it comes to weather. Okay, maybe about weather it's not so dramatic, but it's noticeable. So what I've decided to do is wake up earlier, even though I don't like to wake up too early, but I think in this city it's worth it because I want to explore it. Wake up earlier, hang out. Don't spend time on breakfast or anything like that. Just wake up and go out. Enjoy the morning time before it's too hot. And then when it's hot, I would come back to my apartment and do my work and eat and just take care of everything I need to do that I would probably do in the morning. I always like to get my work done first. But in this case, I feel like it makes sense to do it a little bit the other way around because I want to enjoy the city, and it's really difficult to enjoy it during the daytime. So, and then another thing I want to do is I want to go out when it gets closer to the sunset time. It's still going to be hot probably, but basically you won't get as tired because you're not going to spend as much time in the heat, and it's going to start cooling down. I noticed that their public transportation stops working a little bit earlier than Sofia, so it's another thing I need to keep in mind if I want to come back home in the evenings. And in general, if I did it all over again, I would probably come here a little bit later in the fall, not in September or August, because it's really hot here and the heat definitely affects everything. And also it's there are different kinds of heat. I'm not the expert when it comes to air or weather, but some heat is more harsh than in some other places. So this is definitely the heat here. Yep, that's what I wanted to share with you. Other than that, I'm still going to keep exploring the city and checking out what it has to offer, and I'll be sharing updates on my channel as I keep learning more about Bucharest. A couple more small things. I feel that people are a little bit more quiet here. Maybe I just got lucky or something, but I just feel like people will talk a little bit more quietly, and also people are a little bit more chill and friendly. Bulgarians, they are not as, I'm not saying they are mean, but they are not as welcoming or not as friendly. At least it's like their culture. They have these cold faces, and some of them are, I'm sure they are very kind people, but generally speaking, Romanians, they seem to be a little bit more friendly, a little bit more welcoming. At least that is my first impression. I'm not going to jump into conclusions yet. It's too early for that. But it does feel like a welcoming environment, and I can see a lot more tourists here too, a lot more visitors, which you would think makes sense because Romanians are more welcoming. That's why more tourists want to come here. But their public transportation system really is challenging for tourists and visitors to navigate. So Bulgarians, they did a much better job taking care of its transit and making it easy and attractive to use. It's almost like if I were super rich and I lived in Sofia, I would still maybe choose to ride transit over driving because it's so comfortable and so easy to use, and you don't have to worry about parking, insurance, maintenance, all of that stuff. I noticed that the fewer things you have to worry about, the better you feel, the better your life is, because you can just relax and enjoy. You don't have to keep thinking how to take care of this, how to take care of that. So I try to make my life as simple as possible. Unfortunately, it's not easy because I run multiple businesses, but still I do my best. Now we've been walking around the beautiful part of Bucharest, but it also has a lot of rough streets, rough places with a lot of worn down buildings, a lot of graffiti. Keep that in mind, that not the whole city looks like this. Be prepared to face different kinds of neighborhoods. I'm not saying it's super dangerous or anything, but it's just some parts are not as nice as other parts. And now we are reaching this major trolley bus street where you see a lot of trolley buses. And trolley buses are common in Eastern Europe, but not so common in the rest of the world, at least not in the United States. So I'm very excited to ride trolley buses as much as possible because I want to enjoy this special experience of doing something that you cannot do in other cities. And they also have some older trolley buses, which is why one of the reasons I came to Bucharest is because I wanted to experience vintage transit vehicles, riding older trams, riding older trolley buses. That is also the reason why I chose to come to Sofia, because they still have some of the older vehicles left. And they do have some Icarus trolley buses still running here in Bucharest. It is a newer model. I believe it's the latest they released, but it was released in the 90s, so it's like almost 30 years old, and I'm definitely excited to check them out. With that being said, stay tuned on my channel for updates on how the trip is going. I'll be exploring a lot of different places and its public transportation, everything it has to offer, capturing those rides. And keep in mind that at the end of my trip, I'll be recording my final verdict video, comparing Bucharest with other cities to help you decide if you should visit, while also saving you lots of time and money with practical tips on how to get the most out of your trip. This will be an exclusive video, but you can easily gain access to it by subscribing or donating any amount on buymeacoffee.com/transitnomad or using the link in the video description below. With that being said, thank you everyone for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.